What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Chicago. For Chicago, by Chicago, I am your host, Sean Little. Nick the Quick's in the building.
What's going on?
My G.
What's the business?
What's happening?
Not too much.
Summer cruising, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This shit is lovely right now.
Uh-huh.
We got a lot to talk about. We missed last week, so we're going to catch up on some of that stuff.
Yep.
Jeremy Lin is hot right now. We're going to do top stories. We're going to talk about Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin's while here wilding.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to talk about we already know how you feel about it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the big NFL holdouts, Zeke, Mike Thomas. What's my boy's name from San Diego? I just blanked
That's why
on
he
it.
Shouldn't get paid.
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon.
That's a good point, low key. Then we're going to talk about the Cubs.
Yeah.
Road woes, bullpen woes.
Road woes is an understatement.
Understatement. Like one of the worst road teams in the league.
Haven't won a road series since May 19th.
Yes, so we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Bears training camp and get into the NFL. And
Sir.
It's almost here.
Yeah, it's about that time, man. You know, I was talking before. I was like, oh, man, I'm not even excited about the NFL because, you know, the whole NBA season was crazy. Every day you woke up to some crazy news, seismic changes every morning. And, you know, I just wasn't really ready for the NBA. But I think the last 2 days I've been watching a lot of NFL coverage, and I'm ready, man. But I do got some thoughts. I'm not as ready as some others. You know what I mean? That's what I come and do. I might have to, you know, fan a few flames real quick out here, temper some expectations. But, you know, I got to keep it real with everybody, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no doubt. Before we jump into it, what's been up? What's good?
Man, not too much, man.
Yo,
Just
I was
winding down
getting some
the summer,
feedback on the hour and 40-minute episode. They was like, yo, don't think that was too long. I was rocking with hour 40. I was like, all right, bet.
I think we could go for 4 hours, man. People watch it in parts. You know, you got a whole week to watch it.
Real
you got a whole week.
shit.
It's not like it's today's stuff. You know, we cover a whole bunch of ground.
But yeah man, and that hour 40 was effortless, really.
I know my body hurt after I stood up, though. We need to move around. We might need an intermission.
Yo, it could be less comfortable, but it's a decent spot.
No, these are decent, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think anything is comfortable for 2 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on that boy, Jeremy Lin. Talk to me about that.
I think we should play the clip first.
You want to play the clip first?
Yeah, we got to play the clip because a lot of people haven't seen the clip. Because I'll give full disclosure. So I'd read the quote. I'd read the rock bottom quote, right? Yesterday or whatever when he said it. And I was just like, oh, that seems like one of those quotes that was taken out of context to make him seem worse.
Right.
And then I saw the clip. And I was like, oh, no, the quote was actually made him seem better than the clip did. The clip was like the whole situation. So I think you need the clip for the context. Like 100%, you need the clip for the context.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run the clip right now. Pull up the computer for us really quick.
So he's speaking somewhere, and where is he? He's in China?
So post real quick before you pull this computer up. He's on like his post summer tour.
Getting money.
I don't know if it's like through a shoe deal or what it's through, but you know, he's the first Asian American to win a title. First off,
it's through the bank.
Like he's a big international draw. Like sure. Asian, he's the first Asian hooper to really make an impact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. No, Yao Ming.
Okay, yeah, but to win a ring. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yao Ming was a great player.
Let me pull that all the way back.
There's a huge difference. Yeah.
Yao Ming doesn't play anymore, and right now Jeremy Lin's the only Asian American dude in the league. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that I know.
Pretty sure that's right?
Oh, no, my man Rui Hukamura.
Okay,
that's he's got to carry the torch.
Okay, but
Jay Lynn's in his fields, Rui can carry the torch.
There's not
no, I get what you're saying.
I'm
just giving you a hard time on
and
that.
Jeremy Lin is the most famous one by far right now.
By far, yeah, sure.
All right, so I'm going to pull this up really quick. This is Jeremy Lin talking, and I think he's in Taiwan.
Is he?
And he's talking to some people about his offseason and life struggles. This is Jeremy Lin talking, and I think he's in Taiwan.
Is he?
And he's talking to some people about his offseason and life struggles. This is Jeremy Lin talking, and I think he's in Taiwan. And he's talking to some people about his offseason and life struggles. This is Jeremy Lin talking, and I think he's in Taiwan. And he's talking to some people about his offseason and life struggles. This is Jeremy Lin talking, and I think he's in Taiwan. And he's talking to some people about his offseason. This is Jeremy Lin talking in Taiwan. And he's talking to the side of the second.
Let's talk about a future that I think we solid have. And honestly, I always tell myself if I have a son, let's talk about a future that I think we solid have. And honestly, I always tell myself if I have a son, let's talk about a future that I think we solid have.
Now listen,
bro.
Listen. Go ahead, give your thoughts on it, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. And we can rock from there.
So, listen, man. He could have just as easy just came out and say, you know what? It's tough not getting any calls right now for free agency. My line's kind of dry. You know, I really want another opportunity to show what I can do in the NBA, show what I can do with some minutes, you know, things like that, right? That's the diplomatic answer to kind of express how you're feeling. To talk about number one, it's rock bottom. These are low moments in your life. Let's give some context on the Jeremy Lin story. First of all, Jeremy Lin has made $65 million playing basketball. $65 million playing basketball. He just got off a year where he made $14 million, right? Split between the three teams, he made $14 million. Remember, he was the beneficiary of one of those poison pill deals where the third year the contract's like ballooned up. So he just finished that, right? Jeremy Lin has played 8 years in the National Basketball Association. Jeremy Lin has played 480 games in the National Basketball Association. So for him to be like disappointed and things like that, it's like, first off, you have far outshot projections at this point, right? But as far as being at rock bottom, you've made $65 million in your career. You've won an NBA championship. You've played in front of big stages. You've been the man for like a 3-week period, right? You've had an opportunity to show who you are as a basketball player. And guess what? It hasn't gone well for you the last couple of years. So maybe you're just not that good. But no one wants to hear your sob story. There's plenty of sad stories in the NBA. There's plenty of I never made it stories in the NBA. And none of them have $65 million and 480 games under their belt in 8 seasons. That's a career.
I was shocked by this. Shocked by, there were a lot of people like, I feel really bad for Jeremy Lin. This was some of the softest shit I've ever seen.
Ever.
And I'm all about the athletes saying what they mean, being raw, showing emotion. Listen here, dog. This is some of the softest shit I've ever seen.
Crazy.
Like you said, $65 million in earnings.
It's a lot of bread.
He's probably one of the most blessed individuals. And I don't even say blessed.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
Fortunate.
He's one of the most fortunate individuals. He's a 1%er in this country, bro.
Yeah.
In this world. Is this like this is like got to be like, I thought this was a joke.
No.
He's a 1%er in this world. He went to Harvard. He graduated from Harvard. Not to say he didn't work for that. His family came over, busted their ass to give him the opportunity to go do that.
Sure, yeah, and he busted his ass to get to the NBA.
And he busted his ass to get to the NBA. He did all this, and he's on a podium crying because he's not getting any calls back from the NBA?
Listen.
Stop it.
Bro.
Do you know what rock bottom is? Me and you don't even come close to talking about what rock bottom is. Like, for him to even, for the words rock bottom to even come out of his mouth, he said I'm at rock bottom, and when I feel like I found rock bottom, it keeps getting worse.
It keeps getting worse. Bro, you were in the league last year, right?
He's talking like he hasn't eaten a meal in a couple days, bro.
Yeah, he was in the league last year. It's not like the league has forgotten him for 3 or 4 years or anything like that. Jeremy Lin is 30 years old. And there's still a career for him. First off, he'll probably end up back in the league. If you play in the league the last 8 seasons, someone's going to sign you, number one. Number two, if you don't get signed in the NBA, you have a great career overseas. Somewhere in Asia, making a ton of money.
Next 10 years.
But listen to this. Or you don't have to because you're 30, you graduated from Harvard, and you got $65 million. Unless you blew it all, which by the looks of it, Jeremy Lin doesn't look like he blows his money, but I don't know. Right? So you have a ton of money, a college degree from one of the top universities in the world, a ton of experience, and you have a name. You'll be good. You're fine. That's not right. It keeps getting worse. You won the NBA Finals 40 days ago. You had a parade in Toronto 40 days ago, my man.
He said,
what do you mean? It gets worse?
He said he feels like he didn't contribute to that, which I understand.
Because you didn't get signed on the first, whatever.
No, but like he didn't play, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that's fine.
But you contribute in practice. You contribute. You wave a towel on the bench. You do rah-rah. There's a couple other dudes that didn't contribute either. Listen, man, I'd love to not contribute, get $15 million, and get a ring after a year of not contributing. I'd love to be rock bottom with $65 million. Hey, sign me up. Bottom me out for $65 million right now.
Yo,
hey, right now. Hey, I'm ready.
I need
you know
rock bottom.
Take me.
Give me that Jeremy Lin rock bottom.
Because where am I? You know what I'm saying? I must be fucking Sub-Zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. If that's rock bottom, then damn.
Wait. If Jeremy Lin is at rock bottom, then we must be in the center of the earth,
bro.
We at the earth's
by the
core.
Tectonic plates and shit causing earthquakes. That's crazy to me. I have zero sympathy. Who are you trying to get sympathy? And then the way I read an article and it was framed, first Asian American player to win an NBA championship, now jobless. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He had a job a month ago. He just got a check. And a finals check. And a playoff check. And he'll get a check next year. Just because you didn't get signed in the first wave of free agency, nobody's checking for Jeremy Lin. Dog, you weren't that good. You have stayed in the league probably 3 years longer than you needed to because you are Jeremy Lin. Let's keep it real.
Let's keep it 1,000.
Let's keep it real. You got that contract with the poison pill, which I think was like $35 million because you were Jeremy Lin. Not because people thought you were a great basketball player or anything like that. You were actually the beneficiary of a situation.
And now let me be clear. If he came out and was like, hey, I feel like I can still contribute. I feel like I should still have a shot in the NBA team.
Yeah.
No problem.
Be humble.
This crying and I'm at rock bottom and I don't know where it's going to end and every day I wake up, it's worse and worse. Stop, bro.
Oh.
Please.
And we're what, 2.5 months away from the NBA season?
Please.
There's still time. You'll be all right, man.
Bro, they got a Linsanity movie.
Yeah, I'm not.
What else? What more do you want out of life your last 10 years, bro? I mean, like, I was shocked.
If you're an undrafted player, you would love to have Jeremy Lin's career and be done at 30. If he never plays a game in the NBA, he's a success. $65 million in 8 years. And
I was shocked by a lot of media members, people on Twitter were like, yeah, I feel really bad for Jeremy. This, that. I should pull up some. Like Mina Kimes today on Around the Horn was like, yeah, I feel bad about it. And, you know, this is what we want from our athletes. And
what is what we want? Bro, I hate that.
Listen.
Don't even get me started on the this is what we want and that thinly veiled shit that they throw out there like that. Like, I don't need it.
Well, I'll tell you what
you need. Come on, stop it.
I'll tell you what I think she means by that is just like, because I think I want the same thing. And if speaking for myself, I like when athletes are being real. Like if he would have came out and said, I think I should be in the league. I think I should already be on a squad. Like I think I deserve to be in the NBA. No problem, bro. Yeah. I love that. I appreciate that. So I think that's what she wants her athletes to be real and whatever. But this whole it looked like he was getting ready to have a breakdown.
He was crying.
I couldn't believe it.
He was crying.
So
he was crying, and that's why I pointed out that he's out there getting money.
I'm gonna pull up some Twitter.
As you're getting paid for this press conference right now, you're out there getting paid for this, right? He's not just going over there and speaking in front of a bunch of people for free. So as you're out getting on some press tour, getting paid before you go to the next spot where you also get paid, and then go back to the next spot where they'll probably pay you. You want this sympathy card. I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. For a dude who really, and like, I'm not even going to say he should be humble or anything like that. He can be whoever he wants to be. But like, dog, like, come on, man. Like, no one's feeling bad for Jeremy Lin and his experience thus far in the NBA. No one's feeling bad that it's been a month of free agency and he hasn't gotten a call. Teams haven't even finalized rosters yet. They haven't even gone to camp yet. You know what I mean? He hasn't had the opportunity to get cut from a team yet. He'll be just fine. He will get a call. Somebody will need a point guard, and they'll be like, "Oh, is Jeremy Lin around? Okay, he's played 480 games. Let's bring him on."
Like someone on Twitter right here, Chris Walder. I don't know who he is. Walder Sports at Walder Sports. Lin's an NBA champion. Lin attended Harvard. Lin's made a lot of money. Lin's also allowed to be upset and or depressed without being judged. Sans judgment.
He can be depressed.
Yo, he could be upset about not being in the league. he could be depressed. Not that I don't care about him, I guess, being in a bad spot mentally, but wake up a little bit, bro. Like, just stop it with this.
This is where we are, though, man. You can't criticize him for feeling this way because now you're saying that Jeremy Lin isn't allowed to have feelings. You know what I mean? And like that's bullshit. No one said that he can't. We just said I started the whole thing by saying he can come out and be like, yo, this is a situation. Like you said, I'm mad. I'm not. Even if he wants to be defiant, like, yo, I should be in the league. Just give me a camp invite. I'll show you that I can be one of the 13 best players on the team. I'm fine with that. Coming out and saying that he hit rock, and he said something else in there. I've hit rock bottom. I bottomed out. Whatever it might be. You have not. This isn't bottoming out.
He said the NBA is giving up on him.
Giving up on him.
What?
He's done so many.
First of all, let me tell you something about the NBA. If you're a hooper, the NBA doesn't give up on anyone. If you're a hooper, you're in the league.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's some politics, but if you you can earn your spot in the league.
Absolutely.
Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
So forget about all that, dog. You're just not a good ball. You're not a good enough ball player to be on the NBA roster.
You're not good enough to be on an NBA roster. What does Jeremy Lin put up the last few years in the league?
Dude, he's career average like 11 points.
Do we got his numbers? Like, yeah. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, and how many of those 11 points came during New York time when he was getting 30 minutes a game?
A lot of this Jeremy Lin stuff is getting a lot of like. It's bringing Carmelo Anthony into the conversation. Like, yo, y'all are saying you feel bad for Jeremy Lin, but when Carmelo's name comes up, you just say he's garbage.
Garbage. Doesn't want to be a team player.
Right.
Could you imagine if Melo came out and said, I bottomed out?
I'm at rock bottom, and he was crying?
Hey, are you serious?
Stop.
He might not be back allowed in the country. It'd be over with for Melo. Melo doesn't even say shit, and it's already over with for Melo. Stop it.
Essentially, Jeremy Lin made $65 million off of what, a 2.5 week stint in New York?
Yeah.
Like, if we're being real, right?
No, off of really a game against the Lakers. That was on TV.
Like,
that's where he made his money from. Yeah.
He got a $50 million deal.
Is that what it was with the poison pill?
Like
it was something crazy.
But stop it. Let me look up the deal that he signed. Jeremy Lin contract.
It was a lot of money because the last year of it paid a lot of money.
I can't. I don't know where it's at because there's so many Jeremy Lin headlines.
Either way, when it's all said and done, he's made $65 million in the league. Bye. Cornball of the week. Bringing it back.
100%. Jeremy Lin. Stop.
The Darren Rovell Cornball of the week is Jeremy Lin.
Get a grip.
Get it together.
Get it together, bro.
Like I said,
plain and simple.
I'll bottom out right now.
Yo, yeah, Jeremy. If you want to come switch spots with us, you let us know.
Give me 10%. That's $6.5 million. I'm good. You understand me?
Stop it.
Stop playing. It's a lot of money.
Rock bottom.
Rock bottom ass.
There's kids don't even have fresh water.
Watch him get signed tomorrow because somebody feels bad for him.
The kids don't know where the next.
The Knicks will probably bring him back.
People walking to work 10 miles, working 6 days a week.
People just fucking having decent jobs and still getting. Not even that, bro. People in the league, like it's not even. Dude, it's just crazy.
I couldn't even believe this was a talking point outside of someone saying, "Yo, get a fucking grip.
Get a grip.
This is the softest shit I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Facts.
Yep.
All right, let's pivot. I had to get that out about Jeremy Lin. I was reading too much. I was seeing too much. Oh, I feel so bad. Like, nah, man. Let's get a grip. All right. The other big story in the NFL, or that's in the NFL right now for me, is the holdouts.
Yeah.
I tweeted, okay, the biggest 3 holdouts: Mike Thomas, wide receiver, New Orleans Saints; Zeke Elliott, running back, Cowboys; Melvin Gordon, running back, San Diego Chargers. I'm going to shoot it to you first.
Hey, 2 out of 3 of those men, but
who is out of those 3, which one's the biggest deal? Which one do you think needs to get taken care of?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Why?
Hands down. Because I think if you're the Cowboys and they're kind of in they're in a position where they're a contender and everything like that, but their contention literally solely relies on Zeke, right? Dak Prescott, he's fine. He can make some throws. He makes some plays when you need him to. He's okay. He's not spectacular. He's not going to go out there and win you a ton of ball games. Zeke is their bread and butter. Handing the rock to Zeke is their bread and butter. I don't believe in paying running backs. I believe in paying special running backs, and I got Zeke on that list of the very few special running backs who literally impact a game every single play.
I'm going to tell you this.
Carried him through the season last year.
I don't think Zeke is the most important on this list. I think it's Mike Thomas, and I'll get to why, but I do want to talk about Zeke.
All right.
I battle with, just like everyone else, should you pay your running back or not? And I've come to the conclusion that it's a wrap for that, especially after the Todd Gurley situation. You just lock up your team with that. The money can be dispersed elsewhere. The bigger problem is if Zeke flips your season from going to 12 wins, and if he doesn't, say he holds out the whole year, what is he? They're going to win like 7 games, right?
If they're lucky.
That is a reflection of the rest of your squad, in my opinion. Like 5 or 6 ball games should not be relying on your running back being 100% and performing up to his highest standard.
It is if you build your team around running the football, which is what they've done.
But what
you're saying is in no circumstance should you ever build a team around running the football, unless you have a great running back by committee situation.
But 100%, that's what I'm saying. Because you can't pay these guys. You have to pay Zach. You have to pay Dak. You have to pay Amari Cooper.
Do you?
Yes, Dak. You have to pay him. Have to. Well, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Not pay him?
I don't know, man.
What are you gonna do? Pay Zeke and then not pay him or Amari Cooper?
I don't know what you do with Dak. Dak is fine.
Dak is fine.
He's fine. I don't know. I would wonder what if they paid Zeke, just picked up a quarterback that's slightly below Zach or Dak, right?
Who's that?
I don't know. You can find some of these. I mean, how good is Dak Prescott? But truthfully,
solid.
How good is Dak Prescott?
He's a starting NFL quarterback.
I just don't think the solution for them is not pay Zeke. You have to pay Zeke.
Listen,
this is your team as it's currently constructed.
What I'm saying to you is that it's not Zeke. I'm not paying nobody.
Sure, okay.
Period. I'm not paying Tariq Cohen.
Neither am I.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not paying none of those
Unless
guys.
he starts doing a little bit more, but yeah.
Listen, I'm not paying none of those dudes.
Yeah, I think you got to pay. I disagree.
This is what you do.
I think you pay. There's 3 running backs in the league who are worth paying.
Who are they?
I mean, at that point in time, it would have been Todd Gurley.
Because last year you would have said Gurley, but this year, what do you say? You're like, fuck.
He got hurt. That could happen to any position in the league.
He already had 2 ACLs when you did that. Right?
Gurley, Zeke Elliott. And, I mean, that might be it. There's a huge fall off after that. I mean, Saquon's in his second year.
You pay Alvin Kamara?
No.
Why not? So you give Zeke the whole bag, and Alvin Kamara, no.
Yeah, just based on how the Saints...
You play for $650K.
Yeah, based on how
Alvin Kamara is a monster.
He's great. Based on how the Saints' offense is set up, you can replace 80% of his production based on that offense. They cannot. There's no situation in which they can replace what Zeke means to that team. Zeke might be one of the most important players to his team in the NFL.
No doubt.
Yeah. So even if you take Todd Gurley off the Rams, which happened, you still have weapons. You still have a quarterback who can make plays in the right situation. If you take Ezekiel Elliott off that team, you don't have anywhere to go offensively. Nowhere to go.
But this is okay.
If you take Alvin Kamara off the Saints right now, they're a worse team, but there's not. You just talked about it. There's a 5-game. We could say there's a 4 to 5 game drop off with Zeke between Zeke and no Zeke with the Cowboys, right? What other players in the league that doesn't play quarterback can you say that about?
No, I agree with you.
So for that very reason, even if you don't agree with the philosophy of building around Zeke, that's a situation that they're in.
What I'm saying is that if you think Dak is your guy, you pay him first. You know what you do with the running back position in the NFL? You pay everybody else, and then whatever you have left, you try to fill out the running back position as best you can. You go get an edge rusher. You go get a corner. You go get a quarterback. You have threats on the outside, especially where the NFL is going.
See, But I think when
you try to find whatever money you have left, be it $6-7 million, you go try to find a running back that can fill that spot. You do not pay these running backs $15, $16, $17 million. Bro.
So let me ask you this:
you can't do it. You will not win a Super Bowl.
I agree with that philosophy.
I read this today. The last 2 running backs to lead the league in rushing and their team win the Super Bowl: Emmitt Smith and Terrell Davis. That's 25 plus years ago.
Yeah.
You rinse and repeat. You run these dudes into the ground. As fucked up as it sounds, and as much as I don't like that it's set up like that and how the NFLPA has it set up, you get drafted, you run your running back into the ground for 5 years, and you dump him.
See, I think
you don't pay him, bro. You just don't.
I think that's the case with like the Jordan Howards of the world who are going to rush for 1,200 yards and be okay, and you can find somebody to replace that. I just think Zeke is at a different level. He's at that next level, and there's only he might be the only one right now.
Where we disagree is that I don't think there's any level you can be on where you're in this day and age of the NFL. It's not the early 90s when Jerome Bettis was running around, and you know what I'm saying? In this age of the NFL, you cannot pay your running back $16 million and $20 million, whatever it is. I don't even what's Gurley's number? Isn't it like $18 or $19 million?
Yeah, it's something crazy,
right? And expect to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. Just can't happen, bro. Unless you sign Zeke to the deal this year and they win the Super Bowl this year, and then somehow you convince Dak not to get you convince Dak not to hold.
They have to look at their window. If their window's over the next 2 seasons, you can't afford to lose Zeke Elliott.
Well, I don't know if their window's only 2 years because it depends how Dak continues to develop and all that. But yeah, I mean it's tough. But I'm going to tell you this. They pay him $17, $18 million a year, and they give him that Gurley deal, they're going to regret it. Just like the Rams are going to regret that deal.
Yeah.
All right. Mike Thomas. I think he's more important than Zeke. I wrote down a couple of things here. Mike Thomas, he's plain and simple the only dude that Drew Brees throws the ball to.
Yeah.
Period, point blank.
Like 120 receptions last year or something crazy.
Yeah, like pure point blank.
Yeah.
29% of targets, Brees' targets last year, to Mike Thomas.
Yeah.
And I don't know this off the top of my head, but if I had to guess, like the other 30%, there's another 30% for like running backs and dumps and screens and shit like that. So like that's a huge percentage. He was number 1 in receptions last year at 125, number 1 in the league in red zone receptions with 24. So like, and what do you do all day in New Orleans?
Throw the ball.
Like they run a ton too, but they're looking to throw the rock.
I love that he held out. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I love that he held out. 100% he should have held out. He needs to get his money. He needs to get paid. The numbers back it up. He's a machine. He's one of those wide receivers where it's not like flashy. It's just ultra productive. And you know that's going to last for a while.
Mike.
Can't guard him. He stays open.
That's his IG handle.
Stays open. And obviously, Brees loves him. And you want to keep Brees as comfortable as possible for as long as possible as he gets older. So you don't want to subtract any targets away from Drew Brees. That's the real leverage. Yeah.
Brees, because Brees is on that, like, yo,
Brees, like, you better pay this man.
Hey, man, you better get my man.
I don't want to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it.
I'm not trying to hear it.
We don't care. You don't care what defensive player you sign. We don't do that.
Go get my mans.
Yeah, pay him.
Pay my mans.
Pay him now.
I got 2-3 max good years left. Go get my man, bro. I'm not trying to hear that shit. And to go back to the running back, I tweeted this earlier in the week. I said it would be unheard of, but the real kids that should be holding out are Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
They literally might get like 375 touches.
Can Saquon rip up the rest of his contract and get a new deal?
If he doesn't come to camp, why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Like, why couldn't he?
I'm Saquon. I'm like, and every single Giants receiver I think went down this week in practice.
Bro,
he's gonna have 400 touches.
Saquon Barkley is gonna get the ball like 55% of the time. And they're like, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I'm probably like, I'm not showing up.
And we know what that line looks like.
Yeah,
like so.
And Eli's not gonna be.
It would be unheard of for a second-year running back to be like, can't do it, but.
Can't do it.
I don't know if there's clause in the NFLPA that says like you physically cannot get like no matter what you can't get a new deal because you're in your rookie deal or I don't know what it is. Like you have to wait till your third year to hold out or whatever.
No, the rookie deal is all guaranteed.
Yeah, so, it's like $25 million.
Yeah, there's something that has to. Yeah, so I think
like
he'd
top,
be.
Yeah, like Like for him, Daniel Jones was like 25 million.
Yeah, so for him, he'd be looking at like leaving like 20 million guaranteed on the table, and he might be it might be like, it's not the best idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna chill off that.
Yeah, I'm gonna chill off that.
But if your new deal is gonna be 35 mil guaranteed, and then, like I said, it would be unheard of.
He might not have, and he hasn't made enough money to probably you know what I'm saying, to fuck around like that.
I think it's just never happened before.
Yeah,
but. They are going to run Saquon Barkley. He's going to take so many hits this year. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Same with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
He had like 95 catches last year, something ridiculous.
Isn't Olsen hurt too?
If he's not hurt, Olsen's 38.
Yeah.
Like.
And Cam will lock in on you. Cam will lock in on somebody.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was something I was thinking about because I was hearing all these boys holding out. Like, Melvin Gordon can't hold Saquon.
I looked at Melvin Gordon's numbers, bro.
Has he been
hurt? Is that his thing? He's been hurt a few times.
He's been hurt. He's had like one full really good
He's not good.
Like,
I mean, he's fine.
He's good.
He's the guy. I'm like, if I'm San Diego, I'm like, fine, man. Bye.
Like, yeah.
Bye. I'm not paying you.
No, like there's just
See you later.
I don't see him having enough leverage.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
it's a leverage
you
game.
couldn't even name him 10 minutes ago. So
it's a leverage game, right?
I don't
see.
Yeah.
Nah.
I think Zeke, but I'm saying that when you talk about leverage, I think Zeke has a ton of leverage. He's like, fine, I won't come. Go ahead. Who's their backup running back? I don't even know.
Nah, I mean, I don't know any backups in the NFL, low key, that aren't Cordell Patterson. But yeah,
Mike, what's the guy's name? Mike. What's the new guy we signed? Mike Davis.
Montgomery? Oh, Mike Davis. Yeah. Montgomery's the rookie.
Yeah, James Montgomery.
Yo, listen, remember the white boy on Cleveland that was the running back? He was on the cover of Madden.
Peyton Hillis.
This is the type of like we could get running backs, bro.
I'm not
giving. If Peyton Hillis was on the cover of Madden, there's running backs out there.
Peyton Hillis.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. Look
Hillis.
up Peyton Hillis if you don't know what we're talking about.
After he was on the cover, he was trash. I think he did get paid too.
Oh my God, go look up Peyton Hillis. There's running backs out here, bro. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I've completely punted on the idea if you're going to try to win a Super Bowl, there's too many needs to fill with solid, good players that you need and to have any type of depth to be even thinking about giving a running back major bread.
Yeah. What about a short-term contract with a lot of guaranteed
They won't
money?
take them, though. Like if you
yeah.
offered Zeke 3 years, $40 million, he wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not taking that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah.
Well, the Le'Veon situation didn't make it any better because he sat out an entire year and got bread.
Yeah,
he's in a way better
desperate team, the Jets.
Yeah. He got robbed.
I don't know how many years in a row the Patriots have to do what they do to show you the blueprint on what not to do and what to do.
You don't pay anybody.
You especially don't pay running backs.
The Patriots believe in like mid-level. You pay those mid-level contracts. Everybody, they have no high. No one's like a high-paid player.
They have a squad full of $8 million players.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and they're all good players.
Yeah, and Belichick's like, you don't want to take this $8 million? Fine, bye.
Yeah, this was their first year drafting a wide receiver in the first round since '96. Terry Glenn,
baby.
Rest in peace, Terry Glenn.
Harry. Oh yeah, damn, Terry Glenn.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Belichick's giving you the blueprint. Like. As much as his defense is overrated,
he switches running back.
And we'll get back to that when the season starts.
Switches running back from game to game. Here we go again. I'm not
like Rex Burkhead.
In 2019, 2020, the Patriots slander is not going to be tolerated in this building.
Listen,
I told them all year what was going to happen. It happened. The Patriots stop.
The Patriots aren't going to be that good this year.
Stop.
Bro. They're in that weak ass division. They're going to beat up that division like they always do, but they're going to miss Gronk a ton.
They weren't going to be very good last year either.
I never said that. I said that D is overrated, which it is. Then golf made me look really
overrated. It's
really bad.
Another Lombardi.
But
Tom,
they don't overpay anybody, and then look at what happens. They're just they're nimble. They can go. They can do a lot of different things. Well, they're always deep.
Well, as I was going to say, what was the one thing I wanted the Bears to do in free agency this year in the draft was depth. The teams that win in the NFL are the teams that can absorb injuries. If you can absorb injuries, because it's going to happen, it's not like, oh, we're going to have an injury-free year. Like, it's like, hey, somebody important is going to go down for a good amount of time. Who do you have that can step up? You know what I mean? Who can you plug and play in those situations? The Patriots always have that. They got a great next man up situation. You know what I mean? It's just been always the next guy. So, yeah, I mean, we're worried about Gronk. Yeah, we're worried about Gronk, but they'll find another tight end that can give you 70% of what Gronk was last year. They'll find some running back. Yeah, Rex Burkhead. They're all over the place. They just, hey, you want to come run? Come on. I got 30 carries for you this year, then I'll cut you on Monday.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have 30 carries on Sunday. You'll be 5 minutes late to a meeting, and Belichick will cut you and just be like,
what's
you're next
my
guy.
Man,
they got a running back that doesn't run, James White. All he does is catch passes. I don't think he's had a carry in like 2 years. That's all he does, catch passes.
I think they have what? They have 6 rings, and I think they have – I bet you they have like 3 different Super Bowl MVPs that aren't Tom Brady.
Yeah. What's his face win?
Wide receiver. You don't even remember his name. I know Deion Branch.
Shout out Deion Branch. He got paid by Seattle. Didn't the defensive player win it one year?
Mike Vrabel? Or did I just make that
was
up?
it Vrabel or Brewski?
Whatever. Either way, what I'm saying is that they're giving you don't overpay, especially the skill players that are intermediate.
But you also take their blueprint with a grain of salt because they have Tom Brady.
They have Tom Brady.
And it's just like the ultimate equalizer.
Yes, it is.
It's just there's no, you're Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So I think when you have Tom Brady, and that's why when they come with the Belichick or Brady thing, it's all to me. I always go into Tom Brady because Bill Belichick, if he had mediocre quarterbacks, wouldn't be able to do this.
Facts.
People that say Brady's a system quarterback, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Then give me that system.
Right.
Sign me
give
up.
me the Jeremy Lin rock bottom.
Yeah. Tom Brady's a system quarterback.
Give me the Brady system.
Sign me up. Yeah. Give me that system. I'll take that system right now. So yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the holdouts. I am happy to see more people holding out. At least give it a run.
Yeah, see what happens. Why not?
Stay healthy. Like, I heard there was people that were trying to make a big deal of Zeke going down. Like, so Zeke's not going.
He's in Cabo.
He's going to Cabo instead of going to training camp.
Yeah.
And if you remember, when he was suspended, he went down there. And he came back shredded up. Yeah. So it's not like he's going down there to fuck around.
Yeah, that's where he trains.
He did that before. He came back ready. So that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The first hit a running back should take is week 1.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, maybe a couple hits in the preseason just so.
He needs a couple preseason. You can't be tackled for the first time.
A little bit. But, outside of that.
Yeah.
Keep that boy on the sideline.
So it's like a quarterback.
Straight up. All right, you want to talk about these Cubbies, bro?
Cubbies. Yeah, go ahead, man.
You going to rotate?
Yeah, what's up with the Cubs, man?
It's a roller coaster, bro.
So
they blown all 4 games they lost last week were blown saves.
Yeah.
They blew them, had a lead and blew them.
Stropey blew some.
It's funny with Kimbrel. That arm hang thing, I think is so cool when he's dealing.
Yeah.
And when he's getting smacked,
hate it.
I hate it.
Hate it.
I'm like, yo, listen, bro, stop doing that shit and start getting some outs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit really bothers me for some reason. But it is what it is, and he's still getting in the groove. He just essentially I don't even know how many appearances it is. It's under 15. You know what I mean?
How many saves has he blown?
Not that many. I off the top of my head, I would say 3.
Yeah.
And one was the other day on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Or Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, all 4 games they lost last week were blown by the bullpen. Strope, Cishek, just Chatwood. Standard
on
shit.
The radio they were talking. You cannot put Strope in any pressure situation. In any high leverage inning, we can't put him in any high leverage situation. Not in the 8th.
He needs to be running out there 3-0.
Yeah, and just get his confidence up.
What
happened to Carl Edwards Jr.?
He's a head case. He
can't get out of his own head?
Dude, he can't get out of his own head. He can't throw strikes. His delivery changes all the time. Yeah. He's double tapping, almost balking when he's delivering a rock.
It's just mental.
It seems mental to me, but I don't know. I don't want to bash Carl Edwards because I want to see him get back. I think he has some arm talent, but it looks like he needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
Mentally, and it'll all tie together. On the road, the Cubs are 20-31.
That's just bad.
It's like
11 games.
bottom of the league bad.
Yeah.
Like the Marlins are like 20-31,
Yeah.
20-30, or 20-32.
No.
Like they're like almost the same.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst road records in the NL. Period. That has a lot to do. It's funny because everything is so magnified on the road, right? Like the bullpen, super magnified on the road. We got beat up in Milwaukee, and it was worse because it was in Milwaukee. But that gets magnified. All Joe Madden's decisions get magnified. And it's funny because we get home and we start cruise controlling, and then like the talk slows down because then the bullpen seems to just pitch a lot better at home. On the road, the bullpen's ERA is 5.5. And at home, I think it's almost a full run and change less.
Yeah.
So they pitch a lot better at home. The whole squad plays better at home. So it's like this, and it's really a roller coaster because when we're at home, the Cubs are high, everyone's talking positive. Joe Madden's no longer on the hot seat. We go on the road, we blow 2 games in a row in San Francisco.
They don't hear it.
Like, yeah, so
they
it's
don't
like,
hear the noise.
It's like every other week,
Yeah.
it's up and down. So it's just like it's a really interesting season, and it goes back to what did we talk about in the beginning of the season? The bullpen.
Yeah. It's always been the same problem.
We talked about how shit doesn't fix itself.
Yep.
And look at where we are.
Yep.
We didn't fix it. We waited to get Kimbrel. Now he's still getting in the groove. We're still having a problem with the bullpen. It's about to be August 1st. And you know what we're going to have a problem with the bullpen. And it's only going to get worse as we're in the tightest race in the league between us, St. Louis, the Brewers, and the wild card.
That you shouldn't even be in.
It's already tight as it is, and that's only going to be worse for guys like Strope and the bullpen when it gets down. Like, can you imagine putting Strope in a situation where we have to get 2 innings to win the division?
Could you imagine putting the Cubs in a situation where they have to go on road to win the division?
This is what I'm saying.
So listen, I digested a good amount of Cubs talk radio today.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of everything I always knew, is that Cubs fans are terrible. The conversation around Cubs fans are terrible. And when shit goes wrong,
what do you mean by that?
When shit goes wrong, they tend to look in the wrong direction. So one of the arguments that I heard on the radio today. So first of all, when are y'all going to start blaming Theo? And let me hear me out. This is what I heard on the radio today.
I'm going to give you the schedule.
This is what I heard on the radio today. It's not Theo's fault. It's ownership's fault. They told Theo he couldn't spend any money this summer. Hold on.
Which they're still telling him, by the way.
I have MLB payrolls up right now. The Cubs payroll is $211 million. The third highest payroll in baseball. $211 million.
It's been that, though.
Okay, so excuse me.
That's not a lot of new money.
Excuse me if Ricketts came down to Theo and was like, hey, you know what, man? I don't want to spend $250 million on my baseball team this year, so let's keep it below 250. Do you know how many GMs in baseball would love if their owner came to them and said, hey, let's keep it below 250? Who are you battling with?
Where are you getting the extra $40 million?
I'm just saying.
Where are you getting the extra $40?
If you want to sign some players that are really going to make a difference, a $10 million player takes you to 220. Another $10 million player takes you to 230. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's keep it under 215. That's $3 million.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
You talking an extra 40 though?
Okay. So what are the Brewers paying in salary right now? That's who you're battling with, right? The Milwaukee Brewers have $127 million payroll. Their GM would love to have another $90 million to play with. So don't blame ownership.
The Brewers got a ring?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Brewers got a
exactly.
ring?
My point exactly, right? So they did what they had to do. They spent the money to get the ring. They spent the money to retain the players that after they got the ring, you cannot put it on ownership for saying you can't spend any more money. You can't spend more than $212 million when we just built up an entire city block in the last 12 months.
I'm going to tell you why I don't.
Hold up.
I'm going to tell you why.
So
he's building that so he can cash out.
So whose problem is it that you don't have relievers? Who held on to fucking Schwarber I said it right after the World Series. They should have traded Schwarber. His value was at an all-time high. They knew what he was. He's a fucking DH in an NL. So he's useless. You should have traded him to an AL team. After the World Series, you could have got the world for Schwarber to an AL team. Young guy on a rookie contract? Yeah. Price control? Absolutely. Should have traded Addison Russell when his shit was high. Right? When you kept keeping these extra players, right? When you knew that Russell wasn't going to be an everyday player at any position, right? You should have moved him. When you knew that Javi was the man, right? Yeah, Javi's there. Javi is our infield is set.
Yeah, they were trying to force Javi to play second. No,
yeah, hell no.
Right.
Javi's there. And you're not messing with Javi. That's the franchise. So when the infield was set, why would you keep Addison Russell? When you realize he could not play a defensive position on the baseball field, why would you keep Schwarber? When you realize he's a 220 hitter that's going to get you 30-something dingers, but he's going to hit 210, 220, he's going to strike out, why wouldn't you move from him? Those are Theo problems, right? What else did ownership do? Hey, man, we really need a pitcher. Fine, here's $180 million for you, Darvish. What have you done with that, Theo? So now you want more money so you can sign another huge contract that hasn't worked out? Because the three big deals that they've signed out, Lester clearly worked out. Hayward works out sometimes. Obviously, was a big part of winning the World Series, so you can go ahead and say that worked out. You Darvish,
and he's been balling.
And he has been. You Darvish has not worked out, right? You can look at the big trades. You traded all those players to the Yankees to get Chapman. Great deal, win your World Series, right? Gleyber Torres is a monster. They'd love to have him, but they like that World Series ring more. But the Quintana deal, Eloy and Dylan Cease, and what have you gotten from Quintana? Nothing. So he depleted the farm system, not Tom Ricketts. There's no hope. They're in a bad situation. They have the 28th worst farm system in baseball. So there's no young arms you can bring up to make this thing better. Your only solution is to spend more money in the offseason, which ownership has said, hey, we gave you $212 million. This is how you chose to spend it. Sorry. We're not going to give you another $30 million in payroll. But the Cubs fans blame ownership because Theo is like, talk about chance being protected. Theo's the most protected man in Chicago. The Theo hive is real. Like, you can't say anything bad about him. I get it. He won the World Series. He did what he was supposed to do. But if you're talking about right now the problems of the Cubs, they have not made good moves since they won the World Series.
No, I agree. And this is why I'm going to tell you Theo doesn't get a lot of heat. Because Schwarber, he wasn't going to trade Schwarber because we didn't. I know you said we knew what he was. We didn't know yet. Dude, Schwarber could have went on, and I think we know a little more now. They thought he was going to be able to hit like 40 home runs a year type dude, right? That doesn't seem to be the case. He doesn't create enough contact, right? You laugh.
Won't get enough at bats. Create enough contact.
At bats, contact, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah, big swing Schwarber.
But we needed a big starter in the rotation. Theo went out and got one. That was the biggest pitcher on the market. Period.
But it was shaky when everybody knew he was shaky.
It wasn't that shaky.
He was shaky.
He would have went. Everybody was trying to pick him up.
He was shaky. The rep on it was not. It wasn't like you Darvish. No questions.
We won the Darvish sweepstakes. A lot of people were trying to go get him.
Regrettably,
we won that. That's not panning out. The Quintana deal at the time, I didn't mind the move at the time because we needed another starter.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. So we went and got one.
It made sense.
He knows the window is tight. With all these dudes coming up on these deals, KB, Chris Bryant is going to get paid. Javi Baez is going to get paid. He knew the window was tight, so he went out to try to make some moves to try to win multiple World Series in that 16 to right now window, and it's not the moves haven't paid off.
Nothing with the bullpen.
So he
Strope and Edwards are the same relievers that they had when they won the World Series. Edwards has been shaky.
He addressed some big holes that we had with the starting pitching with you and then going to get Quintana. The bullpen has been tight, and it seems like he got a little handcuffed. Chatwood didn't work out. He went and got Chatwood too. That's another arm that didn't work out. They went and got Kimbrel. So, like, he's been trying to do some things. He's just coming up L's.
Listen.
And I don't know that his fault for picking the wrong guys because these were the top free agents in the league.
It is his fault because he's the one that picked them. At the end of the day, it rides on him. I swap fucking bats for arms any day. You need to. So, I mean, again.
Not in the playoffs.
The deals, in the playoffs.
I'm not swapping bats for playoffs.
Bats for pitching in the playoffs. What do you think is going to be the ultimate doom of this Cubs team? It's going to be their arms. They got all the bats in the world.
You said.
I want arms.
You want arms.
Yeah,
okay,
I want
bats.
Okay, swap bats for arms. So bring back arms. Bring me back arms.
I'm with you.
In the playoffs, you want arms. All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they already have enough bats. If you take away a couple of those bats, you still have Bryant, Rizzo, guys like that in the order. I just feel like I feel like it's always been, okay, let's blame Joe. Let's blame the organization. Let's blame this pitcher.
Just Theo doesn't get any.
Theo, he just kind of stays away from it. You know what I mean? I think at some point you have to put it on him for evolving. When this team won that World Series, this is a dynasty.
Yeah,
they have struggled to get back in. They have not had great regular. They've struggled to get in the playoffs, right? I mean, it's been like the last couple of years. You probably know better than me, but I don't think they've blown anybody away. It's been some hey, in the end, we're making moves. You had to make the Quintana deal for a playoff push, correct?
Correct.
So, and it's well, what's next? So another question that I heard on the radio, I'm gonna ask you: would you deplete what's left of the farm system to get this team some arms right now, or do you feel that it's just not going to happen? You think would they win the World Series?
Well, there's nothing really left in the farm system to move, right?
Yeah.
So there's
question, there's a couple guys that they still are high on, but
the question
it'd be it.
The question comes down to Rickett, right? I understand you don't want to spend any money, and I understand Theo's missed, but bro, this is what it is. And either we're going to sink or swim with we got to add some players.
So how much money do you want him to spend? He spent $212 million. At some point, I mean, and I'm all for I'll never be on the owner's side they're crying poor and all that. You're on the owner's side
right now.
No, but in this situation, if he had been the middle of the pack salary, I'd be okay, he needs to spend some more money. The Chicago Cubs print money.
Listen.
$212 million.
What I don't. Okay, our salary is $212 million. What's the revenue?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm saying? Let me look. Why don't we look that up? Right? Yeah.
But it doesn't. I mean, okay.
It does matter.
Okay.
What you mean it don't matter?
Okay.
Of course it does.
They spend more money than the Yankees. No, they don't.
Let's see, man. Okay, revenue in U.S. dollars. Cubs, 2015. They won. This is before we won the World Series. $340 million revenue. The year we won the World Series, it goes up to $434 million.
Yeah, you get all
the next year, it's at $457 million. In revenue.
Okay.
Stop it.
What's the profit?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
half of that is in salary is gone. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're not making money,
so what are we talking about?
I'm not saying he's not making money. I'm just saying the solution can't be, hey man, we need another $30 million. And if you're him, if you're him, do you trust to give Theo another $30 million for another top of the line free agent after you still owe 5 more years of Yu Darvish?
Hey man, just the gate receipts.
Sure,
$202 million.
We get it. The Cubs make money. That's not a problem. I'm just saying that it can't just be, it's Rickett's fault because he doesn't want to spend any more money. These aren't the cheap Cubs of old. This isn't the Tribune Co. Cubs.
He paid $700 million for the Cubs in 2009.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're worth $3.1 billion.
Yeah, great. Good for him. He's allowed to make money.
If you want your team to continue to bring in $440 million plus in revenue.
So you're saying just go out there and get up to $300. You're saying go out there and get $300 million in salary. You're saying go out there and get to $250 million in salary. Pick up another $40 million.
We need another $30 million.
Yeah.
To try to make a real run before this team gets broken up. Essentially, the core we start losing some of the
15% hike in what you're paying right now. So you want to up salary by 15%.
Or what? What's the alternative? Don't make the playoffs.
What are you supposed to do?
Don't make the play.
This year?
This is what I'm asking.
Talking about this year?
Yeah, this is what I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know what they can do. This isn't for this year. This is for next year.
No, this is for this year.
Where are they going to add more salary this year?
We're tied for first in the division.
So where are they going to add more? You mean who trades a prospect for a high price player?
What I'm asking you is
for who? Syndergaard?
Well, I mean, the money would come next year because it's you know what I'm saying. There's not free agents just laying around right now, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You already did that. But here's the thing, he did. Did he not just?
He went and got Kimbrel.
He gave another $15 million for Craig Kimbrel.
With a lot of that money we got back from Zobrist being heartbroken, we got that money back.
Well, that's a story for another day too.
But that's some of the money.
Athletes.
But that's some of the money that went back to Kimbrel. That went to Kimbrel, right?
Treatment.
So, like, what I'm saying is, listen, I get it, and you make a lot of valid points, and I get that the salary is already up to $211+ million, right?
You're saying Theo should have a blank check.
I'm saying that Theo should have. What did we talk about before the season started? We need bullpen. It's August 1st. We need bullpen. You know what we're going to need?
Whose responsibility is that?
You know what we're going to need in September?
Bullpen.
So what do you want?
Or a ticket home.
So
whose fault is that? Who put the fucking team together?
He missed. He missed on a couple of things. I get it.
He missed. It's so soft. You see, even you just did it right there. He missed. He made a mistake. Like, get the fuck out of here. Say it like it is, dude. Are you serious right now?
No, listen.
Listen to how you're talking about him. He missed.
But listen.
He missed.
What do you do when
Garpax missed
okay,
too.
but no. But like, this might be a bad analogy, but this is the only thing that's come to my head. Like, shooters shoot, right? If you pull up and you miss your first 10 jumpers, so then what? You just pack it in and go sit down the rest of the year?
We're talking about shooting basketballs. We're talking about shooting $10 million contracts.
But listen to me. So you either
then why didn't he take a shot on relief pitching at the beginning of the year when they needed it? He wasn't shooting then.
The money
he was
locked
shooting at the
up.
wrong
That's
basket.
What we're saying.
But it was a problem last year too.
Going into the year, it's been a problem. It was a problem.
It's a problem ever since Chapman was gone, right?
It's been a problem.
So for 2 years, it's been a problem. So for 2 years, he doesn't have to take that shot. He can get away with and it wasn't a problem that was getting better. So if we started the year talking about it, right? We started the year talking about it, meaning that we knew going into the year it was a problem, knowing that we knew at the end of last year it was a problem. Why is he getting a pass? If you're in charge of something, right, and it's a problem for 8 months, how long are we going to be like, hey, man, it's okay, we know.
We had a lot of things to address.
No, we said we had one thing. They had one thing to address at the beginning of the year. Everything else looks good.
He did address it.
You have top-line starters. You have top-line bats.
He added
You have depth.
He added Montgomery, which didn't work. Like, a lot of the pieces that he added to the bullpen.
So he made the wrong move.
So he made the – okay.
So he fucked up.
Listen, okay, you're right. What you're saying is Cubs fans aren't saying that enough.
They're
Theo
doing what they do.
Fucked up the bullpen. He added the wrong players. He's made some mistakes going forward. I agree with you. Let's get that out there.
Theo deserves a large part of the blame for how this season's going.
Theo deserves some blame for what's going on.
Large part.
I understand what you mean. But going into this season, as recent as this year, the bullpen was in trouble and we didn't do anything to address it. Theo didn't. And he also wasn't given any more dollars to address that.
He was given $15 million a month ago.
Listen, if you're a regional manager for Sprint, a store needs some more workers, but overhead's like, bro, I can't give them to you. The store's gonna struggle because you can't. What can you do?
I make it happen. I find a way to move some pieces around.
I
find a way. Those are real problems. I find a way to move some people around. I can't spend any more, but this is what I got. Okay, I turn this into that.
But when you say you give one salesperson to Bolingbrook, Desplain starts to fall off a little bit. This is
then
what
I
happens,
take someone
bro.
from Gurney. I mean, like, what you gonna do, bro? That's the thing. That's the thing. That's leadership. That's the crisis of leadership that he's going through. That's what happens when you're in charge. You are paid to make those decisions. You are paid to say, hey, this is what you have, and you need to turn into this.
Okay, fair enough.
If the answers were simple, you wouldn't need a Theo Epstein.
We're going around in circles, right? I agree with you.
He can't get all the praise and get none of the blame.
What you're saying. But then, that's true. I agree with that. He doesn't get enough blame. Theo Epstein doesn't get enough blame. Okay, we're clear on that, and I agree with you on that. But your boss has to have your back. Who is Theo's boss?
Tom Ricketts.
I'm sure they've had a conversation like, yo, I've made some bad moves, but like, yo, these are some more moves that we can make to get back on track. And it seems like
Tom Ricketts doesn't
want to hear that shit.
$10 million a year to run the Cubs right now.
This is what I'm going to tell you. Look, listen. Ricketts is a businessman, and that we got a World Series. They're going to continue to print money. If he doesn't want to spend any money, if he purely doesn't feel like spending it, then cool.
But
that's
he's spending it to the tune of $211 million. It's all relative. You can't just be like, oh, let's just – relative to other teams in baseball, they have the third highest payroll in baseball.
He was given a budget. The budget was hit, and they're not succeeding. So it's either punt the rest of – it's either punt the full season, which we're looking like we're about to do, or you open up the book and spend some more money.
Let me flip this on you.
But
you're in charge of some people, right? And you set the budget, right? And 3/4 of the year, they come to you and they say, Sean, man, we're not going to hit with this particular budget, right?
Yeah.
And your budget is one of the highest in the industry. So you know you pay more than they pay over there, and they're doing just fine. What are you going to do? Is your first answer to say, I'm going to give you a bigger budget? Or is to look at that person and say, why couldn't you get it done with what was already a bigger budget than everybody else had?
If you're asking me,
yeah,
and I want my team to win, and I got a bank full of money, I'm going to give you some more money.
No questions asked.
No question asked.
Wow.
Because I want my team to win, and I want my team to try to capitalize on this window where we have Javi Baez making pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
So if you're asking me, if the team I bought for $900 million is now worth $3.1 billion from a team that you put together in a farm system that you brought up from nothing, created, we won a World Series, and now my revenue has gone up $100 million 4 years in a row. From 2015 it was 350, and now for the last 4 years it's been $450 million plus. And I come to you and say, hey, bro, I know I'm at my budget, but I fucked up and I need some more help. I'm going to give you some more money.
Then I give you the money for your closer. And then you come back to me 2 or 3 weeks later and say, hey, I still need more money. At what point do you say – that's what I'm saying. He had to come to him for Kimbrel, right? He had to ask for Kimbrel.
Like
Some of that is all set by Zobrist, but
yes.
Zobrist wasn't making $15 million a year.
Zobrist making a good amount of money.
Yeah, well, he needs to come back and do his job.
But listen – that if you're gonna put it to me like that, I'm coming out more money. But that's me.
Let me ask you a question. Actually, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, that's it.
All right.
If I got a team, my leader, first off, has made me bundles and bundles of more money since he's got here. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
As much as we're talking about Theo fucking up, he's made Ricketts. He's won a World Series, and he's made Ricketts bundles of cash.
Ricketts has also spent a lot of money on his team. How many? They've signed $300 million contracts?
I just told you that the team he bought it for $900. It's worth 3.1.
Fine, that's great.
So what are you talking about?
We're acting as if Theo did not have a great situation where the owner was willing to spend money.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So there has to be. I mean,
there
has to be a give and a take here.
There is. I understand what. Listen, I see both sides, but from my point of view, it seems he's made you. He's made the Cubs tons and tons of bread. He fucked off a couple contracts. Players haven't panned out. But essentially, I don't know that this conversation happened, but essentially my guess is that Theo went, this is before the season started, he went to Ricketts. He's like, my Nick, we don't address this bullpen. We're not gonna make the playoffs, and you can go ahead and punt the. Well, I wouldn't say it was that strong, but he's gonna say, hey, the bullpen's gonna be big question mark, and for us to try to push and lock up the division and do all that, especially with the Brewers coming on like they have been, the Cardinals are never going to go away till we die. So, this is what we need to address. And if you don't want to address it and you want to go with what we got, there's going to be a bumpy road. And I'm sure, my guess is Ricketts was like, let's rock with what we got. I don't want to spend any more money. Then, we could have, because you realize we could have had Kimbrel months ago, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So we're late there.
You could have had him at any point during the season.
We're late there.
Yeah.
Because we could have grabbed him earlier. So then he felt some pressure. Theo got some leverage and he was able to pull that off. But yeah, man, I think it's tough. I like the conversation though. It is a good.
It's just Cubs fans, man. You know, I'm used to it, though.
So,
Speaking of the Brewers, though, they had a stat today over his last 162 games, so over the last full season that he's played.
Yeah.
Yelich is hitting
345
with 61 home runs and like
over his last full season. If you took
his last 162 games that he's played in, he's hitting 345 with 62 home runs. Yeah. And some crazy other slash lines that are OPS over a 1200 or something. No, it was 1200. Yeah, it's 1200. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
He's filthy.
He's crazy.
The other night when he hit that homer off Kimbrough, Kimbrough was throwing him these fastballs and they were belt high.
Yeah, why?
And he fouled one off. First off, he was throwing them all fastballs. So I'm like, all right, relax.
Yeah, chill.
And they weren't down in the zone. He wasn't painting. He
just get him something to hit.
He threw him this high fastball, and I was just like, he keeps throwing him these pitches. It's a wrap for all this. He fired it, and it was a wrap.
Yeah.
So yeah, Yelich is a monster.
He's a beast.
I do.
So wait, you never answered my question though. But would you deplete the farm system for the Cubs right now? Or would you trade a major prospect?
What option do we have?
You're still in for this year.
I would like to keep as many. Yeah, because we can make the playoffs, and once you get in the contest, you never know what can happen.
Well, you have to play road games in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
You better hope you have home field advantage.
But yeah, I would like to keep as much young talent as we can, just because we're gonna end up moving off of some of the guys that we have now. But I think we have to do something. The trade deadline's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think we got to do something to address. And the other funny part is Madden wants a bat from the comments that he makes, and we need arms.
You have bats. They just need to hit.
That's
they just need to hit. There's the problem isn't more bats.
Yeah, that's the other back and forth. So, yeah, man, it's interesting. I don't want to talk on this too much, but they sent down Addison Russell.
Yep.
I just wanted to talk about this, in sports, and because it was on my brain about just Addison being sent down and his performance. The personal life being stable is so underrated in sports, and I think it needs to be looked at far more closely. His personal life and what's been going on with him off the field has been in shambles, and that's partly why his game has been in shambles. Guys don't forget how to play baseball. He was a killer for us for a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? His off-the-field shit is so volatile that it's distracting him from playing ball on the field.
It's the Tiger Woods. It's the Tiger Woods theory.
Right.
As soon as Tiger was knocked off that mental pedestal, it's different.
We should have known that going into the year and just wiped our hands with Addison before the season.
Well, no team was going to take him.
But then cut him.
Yeah. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with the question I was going to ask you. It's hey, if you're on the Cubs, how do you approach the Zobrist situation?
I think we talked about this before.
Did we?
I brought it up a little bit. If I'm Ricketts and I'm signing those checks, I don't know the exact deal on the money discount.
You need to come to work, dog.
Yo, I understand
you got a kid dying or something. No, you need to come to work, dog.
And I get that your girl, whatever happened with you and your girl, is not working out. The teammates here need you, because we could definitely use Ben Zobrist in the dugout, in the locker room, all over the field as a utility guy. We could use Ben Zobrist.
Listen,
come to work, bro.
Listen, if something happened with me and my girl, I could not call my boss and be like, "Hey, man,
my girl tripping."
Yeah, I need 3 months. It doesn't.
3 months. He's been out forever.
Yeah. It can't happen. I don't know if any job you ever work, if that's been the situation. I don't care. I just never heard of that. You know what I mean? Where you can just be like, "Hey, I can't make it. I can't make it
can't come in.
Yeah. One day, okay. You can say you're
heartbroken.
Sick. Yeah, I'm heartbroken.
Couple weeks. Sit on the couch.
Most jobs not even, bro. You gotta take some PTO.
You're on the Cubs and you've been in the league for years.
Yeah.
Take a couple weeks, eat ice cream, whatever you gotta do to cope.
Yeah.
Hang out with your kids, get that shit straightened out. But yeah, man. If for me, some people are like, "Yo, let him come back when he feels like it or when he feels ready."
Yeah, right.
But I mean, okay, but on the flip coin, what happens when you make him come back? He's not even going to be fucking playing up to par anyway. So maybe it's like I'm
not really saying you make him come back. I'm just saying it for him, for his own psyche.
For him as a guy, he should. I mean, I want to be there for my guys and try to help the squad, and I'm getting
guys
paid
come back from all types of crazy shit happening in their life, and it's like inspiring. And I guess people deal with shit differently, and we don't know all the details. I mean, we know what we know about the situation. Right. It seems pretty straightforward, but I know he wants to stay back, take care of his kids. He's a deeply religious man and things of that nature. But at the same time, he also signed up for a team. He made a commitment, and the team needs him. That's the guy they need. They need that dog, that dirt, that rat utility. I do whatever it takes to win type guy, and that's what Ben Zobrist is. No doubt. You know what I mean? Big time clutch player. They need that. I've always liked Zobrist, so yeah, I think it's But at the same time, man, it's his personal life. He's not getting paid by them. He's not collecting a check or anything. So I guess if you're in a position to tell your job, hey, look, I'm not going to come to work and you don't have to pay me, then
yeah, you can't really do anything about that.
If I'm taking 2 weeks off, I'm getting paid.
No doubt. But yeah, man, your personal life matters, man. It reflects what's going on the field way more than I think people even realize or give it credit for. So
definitely.
You see a dude struggling, go check out what's happening behind the scenes, and I bet you it's a little tumultuous. For real. And I bet you Bellinger his home life is sweet right now out in LA.
Think so?
He's probably chilling. Yeah.
Big chilling.
He don't have no I don't know if Bellinger has a girlfriend or not, but if he does, she's not giving him no headaches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's chilling out in LA.
Yeah.
He's not dealing with none of that bullshit.
No, it definitely matters.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out. You had a question. Would you be a Cubs or Sox fan? What would you rather be right now?
So take all your feelings towards Sox or whatever and your feelings towards the Cubs out of it.
Yeah.
If you were looking at a team to root for, because in the way that I kind of looked at it, if it's a fan, what do you always want?
Hope. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think on one
I'm
side
big
of town,
on that. I've been saying that for years.
On one side of town, if you're the White Sox, you can sell the shit out of hope right now, right? Sox will sell as much hope as they want to.
Yeah, big
Whereas
hope
the Cubs are selling yo, this is our reality and we want it to get better, but there's no hope. It's no the Sox suck, right? They're not good right now. I mean, there's been some good parts of the year, but there's all these young players, right? Kopech's coming back. The Cuban buddy Luis Roberts going to come up.
We're in a dogfight right now.
Yeah, they're going to come up and they're going to be a good team. You feel good about being a White Sox fan, right? We talked about it with the Bulls. Same thing, you feel like there's no hope. I feel like there's a little bit more hope, whatever. But if you look at the Cubs, yeah, you're just faced with the reality. This is where you are, and you got to make it work with this. So would you rather be a Sox fan filled with optimism, not taking losses hard, stuff like that, or a Cubs fan saying, man, if we don't make the playoffs this year, it's not hope, we have uncertainty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty if they don't make the real uncertainty.
Putting all my fandom aside, I'm obviously a Cubs guy, grew up a Cubs guy, been a Cubs guy forever. I would still be a Cubs fan because I still think this team can make a run at the NLCS. We have enough talent to make real noise to get back to the World Series. I think that's possible, to play the Dodgers again. That's real. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather be a Cubs fan, but the White Sox, okay, this is where the White Sox have all hope.
Yeah.
Before the Cubs won the World Series, we had hope, but then we saw a little bit of the hope on the field, and it was okay, we got some real, going into 2016 was we got some real hope. This team could really win the World Series.
It was a 2-year thing.
Y'all have hope on, maybe have some good players coming up. You're far away from having a really, really good squad.
So if the Sox made a leap next year, and let's say they contended for a wild card spot, right? Uh-huh. Would that crazy surprise you?
Yeah.
Really?
I
don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
With the wild card?
I don't think so, man.
Well, what's winning?
They're playing 500 ball for a minute.
What's winning wild card in the AL, bro?
I don't know.
I mean,
86
games.
Yeah.
So Would it shock me if next year the White Sox were pushing 86 wins? Yeah, I would, bro.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? But
Kopech comes up.
Yeah.
Cease. Giolito's another year better.
Tommy John gives you like a bionic arm. So like, I feel like you should get Tommy John like when you're 20.
Yeah, he's
just like get it out the way.
Yeah,
and come back and be good.
He's a monster.
Get like Tommy John when you're 17.
Kopech's a monster.
Just like
yeah.
Just go do it.
The boys are gonna play, man.
Don't even get hurt. Just be like, yo, I want Tommy John.
They're talking about what if the Cubs fired Joe Madden and the White Sox pick him up.
White Sox scooped him up.
Ricky Renteria, it happened to him again.
He
get replaced by the same dude in the same city twice.
That'd be wild, actually.
That'd be a dream hire for the Sox.
Yeah, man. And he would be super chill.
I don't think he'd get along with Kenny at all, though. Kenny's not with that. Kenny's not that free love vibe. Yeah, Kenny's like, what is this?
That like Halloween party.
Yeah, Kenny's like, what is this pajama day shit? We don't do that.
Yo, speaking of that, and people doing crazy stuff, let's move over to the Bears training camp.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Bears specifically, how do you feel about the NFL preseason training camp? Your big time players showing up as a show doing like crazy goofy shit.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. But at the same time, man, like NFL players don't really get too often to express themselves and have cameras on their face without a helmet on. So I think that that's part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that I really do. Like I think they're about to enter the world where they don't matter and they only matter when the helmet's on. So like whenever they get a chance to express themselves, I think they're going to do that. So I can't knock it, but I think it's stupid. I don't get it, you know what I mean? But
it's just easy to miss. Your shit is easily corny as fuck.
Yeah, it's just corny. Like I always thought the AB shit was corny.
Did you see the Jalen Ramsey?
No, what did he do?
He hopped out of like a Brinks truck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he's trying to get paid.
The money's here, or whatever. You know. And he had Ha Davis on the mic doing like the intro.
Yeah, that shit is. I don't like any of that shit. I'm also not. You know
what happened with Tariq Cohen? They said that Nagy talked to him. Tariq Cohen pulled up in like a Batmobile looking whip or something. Did you hear about that?
Did Nagy come at him?
I guess Nagy talked to him about it. That was all I read about it.
Tariq Cohen was like a 4th round pick, so he needs to be careful with.
Tariq Cohen know he got a little leverage though. He know he's getting the rock.
Yeah,
he gonna get the rock so much this year. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I don't really like any of that shit. I'm not big on the whole pulling up in the helicopter to training camp type of situation. That shit. You know who it's like? It's like Willie. Remember Willie Mays Hayes?
Yeah.
Yeah. He runs. What does he say? What did he say?
Willie Mays Hayes.
It's like he runs like Willie, but or something. What did he say?
Oh my God, that's such a good movie.
It's
Major League.
Yeah.
Go, man. If you haven't seen Major League, you got to reorganize your whole entire existence.
I think it's like runs like Willie.
Willie
like
Mays Hayes, Wesley Snipes.
Mays. So hey, let me ask you this: which Willie Mays Hayes, Wesley Snipes or Omar Epps?
Wesley Snipes.
Easy.
Not even close.
Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes,
Wesley
bro.
Snipes.
He was so good.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Omar Epps tried.
Oh, Willie Mays Hayes. You mentioned before we hopped on, Pace said some of the free agents reached out to the Bears. What were you?
Oh, yeah. So they were interviewing Pace today on, I want to say it was Cap and Company.
Yeah.
Shout out Cap.
I rock with Cap,
I rock with Cap heavy.
Yeah.
Even though I don't always agree with him, I like his passion. Like, dude will just start going off on nothing. But Pace was talking about, like, the culture and how, you know, people want to be a part of it. He's like, you know, he started off by saying, like, yeah, you know, usually when guys are free agents, like, they're going to go see what kind of deal they can get. He's like, we had our own free agents, like, saying, hey, we want to sign extensions. And he's like, then we had free agents from other teams calling saying, hey, I see what you guys got going on over there. Like, I want to be a part of that. So he was just talking about how the perception has changed and how, like, that whole culture and people want to come play for the Bears now and how different that was and, like, kind of that whole thing. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit and just the whole perception of the Bears. Because for a long time, the Bears did not have a good, like, go play there type situation.
You know how I feel about Nagy, bro.
Yeah.
You know where I'm
at.
This
is Pace, but yeah.
But yeah. But
Nagy's the one who's doing that, yeah.
They're tied, right? They're an extension of each other. You know how I feel about Nagy, bro. That's my dog. Yeah. He's new age. He loves his players. He's hip to what gets him going. He's not too strict, but he's strict enough. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the best coach we ever could have asked for coming out of John Fox.
Definitely.
No doubt about that. And, yeah, that's music to my ears that people want to come here.
Yeah.
Because then you know what that means? Shit like people take less money and they want to be a part of something that's bigger than them. Like, that's the type of stuff you want to hear.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. The whole interview was cool. They also had Nagy on a little bit later, and he was on with Carmen and Yurko.
Yeah.
And they asked him about the defense. They're like, hey, like, what's your involvement with the defense? And he was pretty much like, yeah, I pop my head in there, make sure everything's cool. He's like, but I'm never going to go in there and tell what's his name?
Our boy from Indianapolis.
Chuck Pagano what to do. Yeah. He's like, I know Chuck knows defense. He's been coaching defense in the NFL for a long time. He's like, who am I? He's like, I hire them to do a job. I hire him to run the defense. That's his job. So pretty much like I might throw something out there, but like I'm never going to go in there and tell him what to do.
What do you think happens if Pagano goes to Nagy like, yo, I need another corner, bro? Like, What do you think happens?
Another corner?
Yeah, like just out of linebacker.
You
know what Nagy says? He's like, yo, we'll get it for you, G. We'll get it done. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he says call Ryan.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ryan's like, we'll get it done. Don't
get it taken care of. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was cool.
You know what Rick is saying?
Huh.
So I can't help you, my G.
Well, there's a salary cap in the NFL.
You know what I'm saying? So can't help you,
Here
fam.
you go, man. Bye.
But yeah, bro, the culture's flipped. This is the most. I was really excited going into last season.
Yeah.
I'm more excited going into this year.
Yeah.
We have a real shot at winning the Super Bowl, period, point blank. I think we're going, like, who can rock with us in the NFC? Nobody, in my opinion. They were talking about the D. Trubisky, like, the last couple of days, I guess the D been all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think even Eddie Jackson posted a picture of him getting a pick. And Trubisky was like, I don't even know if I should, like, he commented, like, I don't even know if I should be happy about this. But, yeah, bro, we're going to make big noise.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of nobody.
So I'm not drunk off the Kool-Aid yet.
Yeah,
like
that was the next thing. You mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah. But, man, and that's just me. I was the same thing last year. Like, I don't allow myself to get too high.
Yeah.
I've seen this too many times, and I feel like, last year I kept my expectations cool pretty much up until it was like week 7 or week 8, I was like, all right, we're a good football team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we went backwards as far as win total.
No.
But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we went forwards. But I still think the Bears have some question marks. I think that offensively, the second half of the year, you look at the playoff game, like, we all talk about the kick, right? It's all about the kick. We don't talk enough about how bad we were offensively in that game in the first half.
Yeah,
that type of stuff needs to tighten up. Trubisky needs to take a leap.
He will.
I just have to see it.
He will.
That's what we have to see. The whole season relies on Mitch Trubisky.
Trubisky gonna be putting up.
You
numbers.
can't rely on the defense to get as many takeaways as they did last year.
Nagy's gonna have him hitting wide open.
We'll see. That's my only hesitation right there. A lot relies on Trubisky. I'm not quite on the like, hey, we're gonna win the Super Bowl type thing yet, but I do feel confident. I just don't want to get that excited. Like, yo, we're Super Bowl ready. I just want to see a couple games.
This is the other thing.
I need to see some games.
This is the other thing. Too drunk off the Kool-Aid.
Oh, listen to there's some people drunk.
But listen.
There's people stumbling.
Let us be drunk off the Kool-Aid. Like, yeah. You have to how many
That's
times
why I'm not.
And you got to enjoy these periods because
I had to calm myself down before I came here today.
Browns fans, get drunk. Drink as much Kool-Aid as possible.
The whole league is drunk off that Kool-Aid.
Drink as much Kool-Aid as possible.
Bro, they have a Browns reporter at ESPN. It's Josina Anderson is live at Browns Camp daily.
But what I'm saying is that when you have the opportunity, when you have that hope that we're talking about, I don't mind people getting drunk, man. Go into the season. We're going to go 13-3 when it's realistic. We would laugh at, say, Eli when he'd be like, we're going 15-1 when we were going to be garbage.
That guy.
But we have a real opportunity to be a real force. So drink the Kool-Aid, bro. For people being drunk off the Kool-Aid, 8,000 plus fans in Bourbonnais.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I mean, but like this is showing you that people are drunk off the Kool-Aid.
No, I'm talking about what people are saying, but yeah.
But yeah, we'll come back to that. 8-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Bears are locked in at Vegas.
Yeah.
Trubisky's 15-1 to win the MVP. So like, yeah, man. I mean, people are high on the Bears. What, you heard some calls?
Yeah, just the calls, man. The people are just the way that people are talking and all the excitement. I don't know, man. I don't want to be like fucking Scrooge, but I want to keep my expectations at a reasonable level for this team. You hear a lot of Super Bowl talk. It makes it seem like we won a playoff game last year. We did not. We still got some holes. We still lost that fucking Miami game. I'll never forget that game.
I was at that game.
Yeah, you were at that game. We still have some things that we need to fix on. I really need to see the offense take some major strides. I want to know what Tariq Cohen looks like as the feature back, because that's where we are with him right now.
He's not going to be the feature back.
Who's the feature back?
We have 3 of them.
Okay, Mike
Davis.
He's
going to be a guy. He's not going to be the.
Hey, tell me your
Zeke
favorite
is a feature back.
Tell me your favorite Mike Davis moment from last year.
He's not going to be a feature back. Is like what Adrian Peterson was.
What was your favorite play of Mike Davis's year last year?
There's going to be a lot of running backs getting rushes.
Cordero Patterson.
He's going to be a feature guy on offense. He's going to be getting the ball a lot. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to see what that looks like. All right, because they did go to Jordan. Yeah, but towards the end of the year, they started going to Jordan Howard.
Yeah, that is true.
He picked up a lot of carries in the second half of the year. I want to see what that looks like. I want to see what Allen Robinson's going to look like. I want to see what Anthony Miller is going to look like, Taylor Gabriel. I want to see what all these guys look like. If it all comes together, yeah, no doubt about it. It's just I'm not there yet, man. I want to see some training camp. You know what I mean? I want to see some things, man. It's not there yet, man.
I feel you.
Maybe next week.
Anything else on these Bears before we get up out of
here? Did I see anything else interesting? Nah, man. I challenge you to do what I did today. I was driving a lot, and I listened to ESPN 1000 probably for like 4 hours a day. And you really get a pulse of like what people are talking about out there and how people feel. Like the Cubs talk to me is just always my favorite because, again, Cubs fans suck. So it's like you get to listen to all that. And yeah, man, you should do that one day.
I do it all the time.
You do, yeah. It's just
every time I'm in the car, there's
a lot of nuts out there. I don't listen to 670 though.
It's it's a lot of interesting shit.
It's a lot of people out there.
It's you know what I was thinking about too, which is funny, is that we'll press the Cubs for the next month
until they win a series.
No. We're gonna press the Cubs until September, right? They start to get really bad. Say they don't make the playoffs. We're gonna punt them off, and it's Bears time, baby.
Yeah, they can't wait.
It's like
they can't wait.
It's a really interesting where it's just like
they can't wait.
Like the people are so locked on the Bears that if the Cubs, it's not gonna hurt as bad if the Cubs don't make the playoffs, just purely off of the excitement that the Bears is gonna bring.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Really quick before we get out of here, I gotta say thank you to everyone that ordered a hat, a T-shirt. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the love. Chicago breeds legends and always will. Make sure you go cop if you haven't. NoCatchUpChicago.com. It's live right now.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back next week. Keep posting. Keep telling friends. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everywhere you got to go. For Big Nick the Quick, I'm your host, Sean Little. No Catch Up, Sports Talk via Chicago. Let's get it.
Yep.